Now we move to the next speaker, the Miss Mandula Méhes. She will talk about wool processing in schools or in Waldorf schools mainly. And she's from Hungary. And in the schools, they take the wool, the raw wool, the greasy wool, and then they process it and they finish with spinning the yarn. And it's usually they do it in third grades when they learn about different trades, like traditional trades. So wool processing and spinning is one of the trades that they learn. And then the school class, for a week, it turns into a spinning mill, and all the kids really enjoy it. My youngest daughter had experienced this a few weeks back, and I can confirm that she really enjoyed this project. So please welcome Mandula.
Hi, welcome. I am Mandula Méhes from Hungary, and as Dora said, I'm gonna talk about my mom's work. Is it okay now? Sorry. So, is it better now? Thank you. So I'm going to talk about my mother's work at Waldorf schools of Hungary, where she teaches the wool processing for children, and my own experiences as an ex-Waldorf student, and now we work together, so I'm going to talk about as well. My mom, Adrienne, is the founder of Ariadne Arts. She was always interested in arts and crafts. Her grandma worked in the textile industry, so my mom had the opportunity to learn all about this at a very young age. Sadly, now there is no textile industry in Hungary. Later, she studied ethnology and cultural anthropology at a university and did a traditional Hungarian weaver training as well. She learned how to spin yarn, and she is one of the few people who brought back spinning to Hungary after a really long time. She completed the Waldorf Arts and Crafts teacher training as well, and later became a teacher there. Sopron is a city where we were born, and an urn from the early Iron Age was found there with one of the first illustrations of spinning and weaving in Europe, and this is one of the most special and important symbols for my mother. And another important thing for her is art history. And she's trying to collect all the paintings of Spinning Mary and the spinning women of history and spread it all around Hungary. So as you see, history and heritage is a really big part of her life and her work, but not only to gain the knowledge and tell about it to people, but only put it in practice and teach all the things she learned to children and to adults as well. First, she started selling her own products, such as dyed yarn and silk and handmade jewelry, but mostly handmade yarn and textiles she waved. Me and my sister helped also with little projects, and these are only a few projects of her or our work. And I just wanted to show you some pictures outside the school work of ours. I learned many forms of handcraft at a very young age. I always loved to crochet and knitting, but then I learned to spin yarn when I was 8 from my mom. It was new to her as well at the time, so she learned together. And all of my siblings, learned to wash and card the wool and to spinning with spindle or the spinning wheel and to dye wool and yarn. Since I loved spinning, I followed my mom to every event she got invited to, and I went to all the handicrafts market as well. And we attended to Mesterségek ünnepe for several years, which is a festival for folk arts in Hungary. This is the biggest traditional crafts event in Budapest. My mom learned about everything about spinning and wool processing, and her biggest goal now is to teach all of these things to the others as well, especially children. According to Waldorf School's curriculum, children learn about the creation stories of all cultures in 3rd grade. And after that, they learn to create. So they learn about old traditional trades like pottery, smithing, wood carving, house building, and also spinning. Sadly, spinning, like teaching of spinning, wasn't in practice until 2011 when I was in 3rd grade, and my teacher and my mom decided to have a 3-day workshop for our class to learn about wool processing. Since then, nearly every Waldorf school in Hungary invites my mother to teach about wool processing and spinning. At the moment, there are nearly 50 Waldorf schools in Hungary. The workshop always starts with the dirty raw wool and ends with the colorful handmade yarn. It's important to guide the children through the whole process, not only the colorful parts, because this way they can experience how much work and time it needs to make beautiful products from the raw wool. During the in-depth work, the children learn some folk songs as well about spinning and sheep, and my mom tells some tales as well. I should also mention that during each of these weeks in the Waldorf schools, one of the evenings is a workshop for parents to try their hands out at spinning, which is always very popular. To be able to make your own yarn isn't only good just to produce your own hat or own sweater. We think that this whole process helps children to connect with nature and animals and develop patience and fine motor skills. In addition, children learn to appreciate the work and time they put in, and we speak about also the damaging industry as well, like the wool processing industry. We are happy to see that nearly all the children love this subject at school, and many of them ask to get a spindle for Christmas or birthday, and they continue to spin at home. Children with special needs are welcome to Waldorf schools, and it's really interesting and good to see that sometimes the children who are difficult to handle are the most engaged and involved in the process. Now there is a tendency that Waldorf schools try to have animals around the school, especially sheep. For example, there is Fetzo, the black sheep. He is my old school sheep. And this way students can meet the animals whose wool they work with and have a deeper connection with the animal and with the wool as well. In 2011, my mom organized her first wool day, which is a one-day wool festival, where people outside Waldorf or Waldorf students' parents can learn about all the stages of wool processing and try them out in practice as well. There are people who are coming every year, like this blind man, and they really like it. Now, Wool Day is organized twice a year, and beside the 12 workshops for children and adults, there are opportunities to craftsmen to sell their products as well. And in the evening, the day ends with a show for children with a folk tale or something connected to wool. It's always very popular. This Wool Day takes place every time in the Cultural Community Center in Csillaghegy in Budapest, and it became the most popular event of the house, and people are coming from over the whole country. And that's the last thing. I wanted to show you some drawings my mom and I got from students. My mom told the students about this whole conference and asked them to draw about what they have learned and how they imagine the future of food processing. These are the drawings they made especially for you. And the message they send is that they ask you to continue with your work and take really good care of animals and wool around Europe. We believe that this education isn't only good for children for learning how to spin, but also to teach them patience, a sense of beauty, creativity, and provide safe place where they can create in peace and quiet, because this is maybe more important now than ever. Thank you so much.